What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Jarmall Charlo. My apologies for the last of that video. It was cut short, and so I just chopped it off, sent that to you guys, let you guys check that out while I'm gonna finish volume 2 of the Jarmall Charlo interview, where he pretty much puts a lot of those fighters that he works with in his stable on blast for not taking the hard fights. You know, and there's only certain fighters that's doing that, so you don't have to be a magician to know who we're talking about. You don't have to be psychic. Okay, there's a lot of fighters in his stable that does not take the best fights. Now, counterpunching Jarmall Charlo, I mentioned the offer that was sent to him by Eddie Hearn. And it was supposed to be a massive deal for one fight. Okay? One fight to me is not really that's the best solid contract. That's the best insurance that you can have on not being enslaved to a certain network or streaming platform, right? One fight is like, hey, here's a contract, do this job, get this money. Guaranteed. That's the best part about it. It ain't, oh, we'll give you 1.5, and if you make over 375 pay-per-view buys, then we can get, no. That back end, no. You don't have to worry about nothing, and nothing is better than a guarantee. It's not a tip, it's not a commission, it's a guarantee. It's a contract. Okay, so if he turns that down, that's the option that he has, because as he stated, he wanted Canelo, he wanted Golovkin, and none of these guys are talking about me. Well, you have to do something and make your voice heard in the middleweight division. Yes, Golovkin ducked him, but then what did really Charlo have to offer for Golovkin at that point? Golovkin's been where Jarmall was for a great part of his career due to promotional companies or whatever the case was. Okay, but he's been there, and a lot of those fighters that were at a certain point and they see a fighter that was at a point where they don't want to take on those fighters, ironically. Golovkin didn't want to. He ducked Jarmall Charlo. The WBC ordered Golovkin, after losing to Canelo, to fight Jarmall Charlo. Okay, he didn't want to do it. Okay, Canelo's bouncing all over the world in weight classes. He's all over the place. He's at 175. He's at 168. He's at 160. He fought Chavez Jr. at 164.5. He does not care. He had his own Canelo weight at 155. Remember that? When he couldn't even make 154. His ass was getting too chunky. His neck was getting too thick. Okay? He couldn't make the weight. So he doesn't have to fight Jarmall Charlo. And counterpunching Jarmall Charlo, once again, Jarmall Charlo has to understand, the minute he accepted the WBC belt by default, he had to put himself in his position. Okay? He didn't have to take the WBC belt. He could have struck a bargain. Let me fight for it. Don't just give it to me. I didn't deserve it. That's the problem. So he says, well, why am I getting these fights? Because you took the prize that they gave you. You took the hand-me-downs. There you go. Take that, Charlo. You PBC guys don't fight nobody anyway. Take this WBC belt. He was too happy to accept it. So you can't say, I don't know why these guys don't want to fight me. Well, there's the WBO. The WBO middleweight champion of the world does. That's also undefeated. That's also making a name for itself. That also makes more money than you, because he's with a better promotional company, in my opinion. So those are the options that you have. So beggars can't be choosers, Jarmall Charlo. Yes, you can blast these other guys for not fighting the top guys, but you cannot avoid fights that you need to take. What, by fighting Chris Eubank Jr.? I mean, what is he going to do for you? The only thing that Chris Eubank Jr. can do for Jarmall Charlo is take Jarmall Charlo's WBC belt. That's the only risk that will be involved. You're fighting Chris Eubank. What if Chris Eubank wins? Then he has nothing. He has one loss like his brother, Jermall, and no belt. And really no bargaining room no more. But you don't take everything that's given to you. Gary Russell Jr. didn't. You know, yes, he's in timeout. They put him in the hole in PBC, right? What did he fight one time? Once yet last year? You think that was by coincidence? People don't like you to blast networks in promotional companies. You know, so if Jermall Charlo wants to better his career, he would make the champion that he's supposed to be. Okay? Because honestly, I mean, who has he fought? You have to be real with the position and level that you're honestly on. That's being humble. That's knowing where you're at. Look, all right, I'm a pretty good fighter. I'm 29-0, 21 knockouts, but I mean, I'm really looking for those fights to define me. But until then, I have to fight these fighters that are also undefeated like myself. That's all Jarmall Charlo has to do. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.